Most people won't correct you when you speak. They smile, nod, and just move on. Okay. Again, it's not your problem. It's because Japanese people don't correct you. It's a very indirect culture. Why do a lot of these people who are married to Japanese people or dating Japanese people speak better Japanese? Why? You know, their girlfriends or wives are like, so chigayo, like that. You're wrong. Like, say it this way. They just get direct feedback at home, and that's why they improve a lot. I have a coworker from America at work. He's married to a Japanese person. Of course, you're gonna remember Japanese if your wife or girlfriend is Japanese, right? Getting feedback, getting real, live feedback from somebody is the most important thing, in my opinion. I'll be completely honest. The biggest problem with my students and clients is you've been studying Japanese for a while now, maybe even for a full year. You know the grammar, you know some vocabulary, you can understand in general more than before. But when it's time to speak, your mind just freezes. And you're thinking, why? What's wrong with me? Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with you, but there's a reason this keeps happening. And once you see this reason, everything changes. I've seen this with people all over the world, especially those living in Japan or working in Japanese teams. They spend hours with apps, textbooks, YouTube channels, but when they try to speak to their coworkers or friends, it feels like they never studied at all. If that's you, you're not alone. Here's what most learners don't realize. You've been studying Japanese, but you haven't been training to speak. See, understanding grammar rules is input, but speaking Japanese in real time, that's output. And output is a completely different skill. It's like knowing all the rules of soccer, but never kicking a ball. You know what I mean? I see this a lot with my students and clients. When it comes to actually the vocabulary and grammar, they know a lot of it because they studied in their Japanese school, right? In their institutions. But when it comes to talking to me or my team, speak and practice, they just freeze because they don't know how to hold a conversation. This is very normal. It's not your problem. It's the method. We're going to talk about the reason in this video, all right? So this is the best part of this video. We're going to talk about why it's happening and try to fix it. All right, so here's something unique about Japanese culture. Most people won't correct you when you speak. I'll say it again. Most people will not correct you. It's culture. All right, even if you say something wrong or awkward in Japanese to Japanese people, they smile, nod, and just move on. Okay, they don't want to, they don't want to cause any, they don't want to rock the boat. They just want to move on. It's not because they don't care. It's because correcting you directly feels rude. All right. So you keep repeating the same mistakes and no one tells you. If you're working in Japan or preparing to, this becomes even more important because you might understand what's happening in meetings, but when it's your turn to speak, you just panic, right? You second guess everything, you sound uncertain even if you know the answer. So guys, it happens a lot. Most of my clients, they come to me saying that they don't know what to say at work. They understand what other people are saying, but when it's their turn to speak or talk to their boss or to the team, they don't know how to hold a conversation. And again, it's not your problem. It's because Japanese people don't correct you. It's a very indirect culture. They do not want to offend you. And that makes people trust your Japanese a little less. Not because you're wrong, but because you're hesitant. And in business, clarity equals confidence, right? So let's talk about how to actually fix this. The good news is you don't need to do more textbook practice or apps, right? You don't need more apps on your phone. What you really need is actual speaking practice with locals and maybe like real feedback from them, because getting feedback from, guys, I'll be honest. What's the reason why, why do a lot of these people who are married to Japanese people or dating Japanese people speak better Japanese? Why? It's because they get feedback. Their girlfriends or wives are like, so chigayo, like that. You're wrong. Like, say it this way. They just get direct feedback at home, and that's why they improve a lot. I have a coworker from America at work. He's married to a Japanese person, right? He has 2 kids here. He's raising 2 kids. One's in high school, one's in middle school. And he speaks just perfect Japanese because, of course, they argue at home. Of course, they're married, right? They always communicate in Japanese. Probably the wife is like screaming at him at home that he doesn't do the laundry, he doesn't clean his room. Of course, you're gonna remember Japanese if your wife or girlfriend is Japanese, right? So, but you don't need to, you don't need to be married. I'm not saying that getting married is the key. I'm saying getting feedback, getting real, live feedback from somebody is the most important thing, in my opinion. It could be a friend or anybody that you know at work. Just, take them out somewhere, It doesn't need to be like a romantic relationship. Just have friends in general. Just get feedback. Talking to your boss and saying, being open about it, saying that you don't mind, even if he corrects you. That's another big plus, right? He or she will probably correct you if your Japanese is incorrect. They'll love that. People love to kind of be in the circle, be in your, circle of trust and correct you like that. So that's very important as well. That's another way you can play it. Also, repetition, not just reviewing, right? So you can just start small. Talk to yourself out loud. I always tell my students we do this every morning, all right? Every morning and night, twice a day, morning and night. When you wake up, say this new phrase I remembered 10 times in front of the mirror, right? 10 times in front of the mirror, and if you really still suck at it, just do 20. Guys, if you do 20 in the morning and 20 at night, this new phrase that you remembered, it could be a phrase that you can use for work, right? Like, arigatou gozaimasu, shouji shimashita, right? That's a new word that you might learn, right? If you really suck at it and you don't know, just do 20. Guys, if you do 20 in the morning and 20 at night, 20 times each, that's 40 times a day, in a week, you're gonna remember it. I guarantee you. You're gonna have it here in your head. You're not gonna forget it. Just do it for a week. I'll be completely honest. The biggest problem with my students and clients is, and don't worry, because I always tell them this, it's fine. They know what they need to do, but they have a problem doing it. It's like being obese and not going to the gym, right? So you have to wake up at like 6 and do it 20 times before your family wakes up. And after your kids go to bed, you got to do it in front of the mirror 20 times at night as well. You know what you got to do, but the problem is doing it, right? I know, I completely understand that, having books or apps at home feels more comfortable. It's just easy to not need to practice, right? And it might be making you feel good, just that the fact that you got your book or your app. But guys, you need to actually record yourself, actually talk to the mirror, do something. You got to actually take action. It could be anything, all right? Shadow real conversations, ask a tutor, can you correct me like a coach, not just be nice. That one shift can change everything. All right, look, if you've been studying Japanese for a year and still feel stuck, I just wanted to let you know that it's normal, all right? But just don't give up, because fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to speak again and again and learning from each attempt, all right? It's about resilience, okay? It's about creating this habit. Right? And once you have this habit, it's a breeze. It's not hard anymore. Wake up in the morning and do it 20 times. Do it before you go to bed as well. Do it twice a day. It becomes a habit, and that's why it's not hard. Okay, it's about repetition and resilience, not about being perfect, guys. All right, I hope this video helped you feel a little less stuck, and I hope you keep going because you're closer than you think. All right, guys, anyways, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'll talk to you in our next one. Bye-bye.